Hello and welcome to Tuesday Yoga with Phil. Your practice is at your own risk, so do pay attention to how you're feeling today. Just do the things that feel right. Be prepared to ease back if anything doesn't feel right and miss anything out. Just do what feels good for your body today. We're starting the class today standing up, so if you want to bring yourself to standing, and once you're standing, come to standing with your feet hip distance apart, allowing your hands to relax by your side. And then once you're there, just close your eyes for a moment. And with your eyes closed, you can just allow your attention to draw inwards, to move away from the day that you've had or thoughts of the evening you're going to have, so that your attention is focused within your body. You can take your attention down to the soles of your feet, so really noticing the feel of the floor or mat underneath the soles of your feet. Maybe being aware of the temperature of your skin on your toes and the tops of your feet. Bringing your attention then up to your hands. Just feeling any tingling going on in your fingertips. Just feeling the sensation of the air against the skin on your hands. Just take 2 good breaths there. As you take them, really feel the rise of the inhale and allow that to subside away on the exhale. Opening your eyes. And then we're going to take a lift of your right knee. So letting your right knee lift up, taking your arms to hug your right knee in. Just take it easy at first. Your balance will take a moment to settle, releasing your knee, letting your foot come down, then picking up the left knee. Again, just drawing it in gently, as much as your balance allows, releasing, letting that foot come down. And then just keeping that going in your own time. So alternating legs. And then we can make it a little bit stronger, so that as you release your leg, taking your arms out to the side, bringing them back in to hug the next knee in. And you could also align that with the breath. So exhale as you come in, and a big inhale as you come out. Maybe finding you can start to take your arms back that bit further, so you really open out your chest, making it almost a big exaggerated movement. Hugging your knee in a little closer. Taking 1 more to each side. Finishing with the left. And then lowering your hands down. Wonderful. From there, coming up to the top of your mat. Preparing yourself for sun salutations. So feet together, shoulders relaxing, crown of your head lifting. And as you do the sun salutation today, particularly the first round where we focus on individual postures, really think about what those things are that you do for that posture that makes it strong. That might be some of the things that I suggest, but you know your body better than I do, so you may have your own things that allow you, for example, in down face dog, to make that a strong posture. So hands relaxing, crown of your head lifting. We'll take 2 breaths, then we'll begin. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, bringing your palms together. So here it's pressing the palms firmly together, lifting the elbows, maybe drawing your elbows back a little. Then reaching your arms up, stretching tall, and taking your whole arms and armpits back as you press your abdomen forward tilting the bottom of your rib cage up towards the ceiling. From your hips, stretching all the way forward and then all the way down. Keep your arms lifted as long as you can, but once you can keep them lifted no longer, then let everything relax down. Bend your knees so your fingertips are just touching the mat. Your neck muscles relax so the crown of your head hangs heavy to the mat. Take your right leg all the way back. Let your knee come down, place the top of your foot flat on the ground. Lift your gaze. Maybe pressing your right foot into the ground to help your hips to ease forward and down towards the front edge of your mat. Tucking your right toes under, send your left foot back to come into plank, finding the perfect straight line from the back of your neck down to your heels. Your heels can press away to help your knees lift a little bit away from the ground. Shoulder blades ease down your back, then lowering your knees, followed by your chest, making contact with your chin, or if you can reach easily, your forehead against the ground. Pressing forward, lift your face and lift your chest. Shoulder blades ease back, elbows in close. Tucking your toes, lift your hips up towards the ceiling, maybe taking them back to your heels first. Down face dog. So the first thing with down face dog is that lift of your hips high to the ceiling. The press down of your hands, the press down of your heels. Maybe pressing your hands forward against the mat so that helps your armpits to lower and your chest to come towards your knees. Look between your hands. Bring your right foot through between your hands, taking your left knee down. Lift your gaze there. Again, you could press your left foot into the mat to help your hips relax and ease forward. Left foot comes through, finding your forward fold again, relaxing your neck muscles, head hangs heavy, leading up with your arms. Your arms reach forward, lifting and lifting and lifting, looking between them at the top, taking your armpits back, and hands come down. Inhale. Exhale, palms firmly pressed together. Inhale to reach up and back. Top of your chest tilting up to the ceiling. From your hips stretching forward and down. Relax once you've lowered. Left foot back. Taking your knee down, lifting your gaze. Left toes tuck under, right foot back. Coming into plank. A little bit of navel towards your spine so that you have strength in your core. If you're feeling strong, you could then lower down in one straight line, taking your elbows back towards the bottom of your mat. Otherwise, knees followed by your chest. Touch down with chin or forehead. And pressing forward, lift your face and chest. Elbows in. Toes tuck. Hips lift to down face dog. Hands press down, heels press down, hips lifting. And then if you think about the back of your thighs facing the wall behind you, as your heels press down and your hands press forward, you can just see if you can take your back of your thighs a millimetre or two closer to the wall behind you. And if you want a little bit more stretch down your legs, you can tilt your tailbone up towards the ceiling so you get more stretch in your legs. Look between your hands, bring your left foot through, right knee comes down. Lifting your gaze, right foot through. Take a moment of relaxation in forward fold. Then reach and stretch up with your arms. Look between your hands and hands come down. Inhale. Exhale. So we'll take 2 more rounds. Seeing as you flow from one posture to the next, if you can perfect each posture and make it as strong as you can in the brief moment that you spend in it. Feet pressed towards the mat, the crown of your head lifts. Rest breath to begin. Inhale. Exhale, palms firmly pressing together. Inhale to reach up and back. Exhale, stretching forward and down. Inhale, right leg back. Knee down, let your gaze lift. Holding your breath, send your left foot back, coming into plank, knees lifted, heels pressing back, exhaling to lower. Inhale, face and chest lifts, shoulder blades ease down your back. Exhale, toes tuck and hips lift on high, hands press forward. Inhale, right foot through, left knee down as that right foot comes through, lifting your gaze. Exhaling, left foot through, forward fold, fingertips just touching the mat. Inhale your arms up, reaching and stretching up, looking towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, exhale, palms pressing together. Inhale, reach and stretch up. Exhaling forwards and down. Inhale, left leg back, knee down, hips relaxing. Hold your breath, right foot back, strong plank, press the ground away from you with your hands. Exhale to lower. Inhale, pressing forward, lifting your face and chest. Exhale, toes tuck, hips lift on high, heels press firmly down. Inhale, left foot through, your right knee comes down. Exhale, right foot through, forward fold. Enjoy the relaxation for that brief moment, inhaling, reaching and stretching up. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, exhale, palms together. Our final round, elbows lifting. Inhale, reach and stretch up. Exhale, reach forward and then reach down, neck muscles relaxed. Inhale, right leg back, knee down, lift your gaze. Hold your breath, left foot back, coming into plank, shoulder blades ease down your back. Exhale to lower. Inhale, face and chest lifts. Exhale, toes tuck, hips lifting, hands push forward, chest back towards your knees. Inhale, right foot through, left knee comes down. Exhale, left foot through, forward fold. Inhale, reach and stretch up and back. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, exhale, palms together. Inhale, reaching and lifting up. Exhale, forward and down. A big sweep down of your arms. Inhale, left leg back, knee down, lift your gaze. Hold your breath, right foot back. Strong plank, press your heels away, exhaling lower. Inhale, face and chest lifts. Exhale, toes tuck, hips lift to our final down face dog, making it strong. Inhale, left foot through, right knee down. Top of your foot on the floor if you've got time. Exhale, right foot through, forward fold, relaxing. Inhale, a big reach up. Look between your hands, armpits shown to the ceiling. Exhale, hands down. Wonderful. Feet apart, palms turn forward. 2 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Bringing yourself then to lie down comfortably on your mat. Feet to the corners, hands away from your body, palms turning up. Letting everything rest. Keeping your attention and awareness within. So you could have an awareness of your breath. You might be able to feel a little bit of the beat of your heart in your chest. Noticing as your breath and heart rate return back to resting. Knowing that even if we were to end the class here, which I don't want you to do, but if you were to, you have just worked, stretched and moved every part of you. And now that leaves us ready for the deeper stretches. So today we're going to have a good focus on the legs. I'm going to leave you with fully stretched legs. We'll start with some single leg raises. So if you bring your feet together so you feel the inside of your legs touching, hands come by your side, your palms turn down, flex your feet, toes come up towards your knees, press your knees down so your legs are strong and straight. As you do all those movements, you may have found you've built some tension in your shoulders, so let that go, let your shoulders relax down to the ground. When you next inhale, lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Keep your legs straight, so toes drawing down, knee pressing away. So you're just taking it as high as it's happy to go straight. If you find your lower back starts to ache as you do this, then just take your leg less high. As you next exhale, lowering your right leg. On your next inhale, lifting your left leg up towards the ceiling. Keep your right heel pressing away so that leg stays active. When you exhale, lowering your left leg. So we'll take 2 more on each side. As you next inhale, lifting your right leg up towards the ceiling. Taking your toes as far back as they can go with your leg straight. Exhale as you lower. Inhaling, lift your left leg. Toes drawing down, knee pressing away. Right heel pressing away too. Exhale, lower. Inhale to lift your right leg. So holding your right leg there. Foot flex, heel presses up to the ceiling, knee straight. Just seeing then how far back your toes will go using only the muscles in your leg. Then lifting your head, take your hands and interlace your fingers behind your thigh. Then take your head back down, bring your leg with you, keep it straight if you can, but if you need to put a bend in your knee to bring your leg back and let you put your head down, then please do. Once you're there, press your heel up towards the ceiling so that leg comes as straight as it can. And now using your hands, bring that leg back, seeing if your toes can come closer to the wall above your head. Using not only your arms but also your leg muscles as well. So you're just reaching your toes back. Then it's fine to stay here, but if you want a bit more, as you next exhale, lift your head away from the ground and climb your hands a bit higher up your leg. So just reaching as high as you easily and comfortably can. That might be around your knee, your calf, your ankle maybe. Then lift your chest a little closer to your knee and draw your knee back towards your chest, keeping your leg as straight as is comfortable. Left heel compressed firmly away so you keep that leg active. Using the next couple of breaths, as you inhale, see if you can lift your chest a little higher. And as you exhale, see if your knee can be swayed a bit closer to your chest. When you next inhale, take your head back down, release your leg and lower your right leg to the ground. Feet come back together, feet flex, hands back by your side, palms turned down. When you next inhale, lift your left leg up towards the ceiling. So again, keep it straight, taking it as far back as you can. So watching your toes as they move against the ceiling, hands on the ground, shoulders relaxing. Then lift your head, interlace your fingers behind your thigh. Take your head back down, bringing your leg with you, but if you need to take a bit more knee bend to allow that to happen, then press your heel up towards the ceiling so you're making that leg as straight as you can. Easing your leg back, taking your toes to the wall behind you. So you want to get a good strength of stretch, but don't take this to the point where it's straining and you're holding lots and lots of tension. Keep this light, we've got more leg stretches to come, so your leg will get plenty of chance to stretch. You can hold here, but if you would like more, as you inhale next, climb your hands up your leg. Take a good firm grip wherever you can reach. Drawing your knee back towards your chest as you lift your chest up towards your knee. Using your next 2 or 3 breaths, as you inhale, chest can lift, as you exhale, knee can lower. When you next inhale, take your head back down, release your leg and let your leg lower to the ground. Allow your feet to relax apart, take your hands by your body, palm turned up, and take a breath or 2 there. When we do single leg lifts, I don't ask you to draw your navel to your spine. And the reason I don't do that is because when it's just one leg lifting, our core doesn't get involved. And you can just I can show you that by, if you just place your hands one on top of the other on your abdomen, and then bring your feet together, and then just take a lift of your right leg up to the ceiling, and lower it down. Just feeling what's going on in your core as you do that, taking the left leg up. What you should be finding is there's absolutely nothing going on in your core. So now if you keep your hands on your abdomen, draw your toes up towards you and lift both legs, you will suddenly feel your core engage and get involved. So your core is now doing the work of that lift, lowering your legs down. So what we'll do now is we're going to take some double leg raises. So this is working the core rather than the leg muscles that we did with single leg raises. So navel draws down towards your spine, hands come down by your side. You can choose where you want to have your hands. If you bring them under your buttocks, that will make it lighter. If you have them by your side, that'll be medium. If you take them behind your head, interlacing your fingers, that will be the strongest. Drawing your navel towards your spine, flexing your feet, pressing your knees down, and then when you next inhale, lifting both legs up towards the ceiling. To really tune into your lower back, if it feels like your lower back is straining as you make these moves, then you might want to take a bend of your knees so you're lightening the load further. As you next exhale, lower your legs steadily down to the ground. So that's where you'll notice if your lower back is really feeling that. So we'll take a few more. So toes towards you, knees down, hands wherever you want them to be as you next inhale, lifting both legs. And as you exhale, lowering them down, keeping your navel towards your spine. And then keep that movement going in time with your own breath for a few more lifts. Keeping the motion in complete control, feet flexing. So next time your legs are lifted, hold them in that lifted position. I'm going to offer you 3 more with a timing to come down. If my timings are longer than you need, feel free to go faster. So legs are lifted, navel towards your spine, palms on the ground, wherever you want or wherever you want them to be. We're going to come down to a count of 6. So coming down, Om 6, Om 5, Om 4, Om 3, Om 2, Om 1. When your heels touch down, let's let your feet relax apart for a moment, take a breath. So we're going to do 2 more. You'll find on these it's a bit longer than you can exhale for, so keep your breath going during the descent. Bring your feet back together, flex your feet, navel to spine, hands by your side. As you next inhale, lift your legs up towards the ceiling. Coming down this time to a count of 7, Om 7, Om 6, Om 5, Om 4, Om 3, Om 2, Om 1, and touching down. Take a breather, and then we'll have 1 more. Feet together, navel to spine. As you inhale, let your legs lift on that inhale, and then we're going to come down to a count of 8. Let your shoulders relax to the ground. Om 8, Om 7, Om 6, Om 5, Om 4, Om 3, Om 2, Om 1. Touch down, feet relax apart, palms face the ceiling. So for the legs that I could see, that was looking fantastic. Nice, slow, steady descents. So send your expansion of your inhale into your core so that your abdomen can rise and fall with your breath, massaging your core muscles. So we're now in the perfect place to take shoulder stand. So while you just rest another moment, I'll just say a few things for those who might be watching the video. So in shoulder stand, if you have high blood pressure, then shoulder stand isn't for you, but raising your legs most certainly is. You could do that by lifting your legs. To help you do that, if you had a belt, you could take a belt around your feet so you can draw your legs towards you. And if you had a block or a cushion, you could place that under your hips, and that also makes it more comfortable to have your legs lifted. So if you're going to take full shoulder stand, stretch out, bring your hands in as close as you can by your side, and then when you're ready, lift your legs. As your legs lift, your hips can then lift, and once your hips have lifted, bring your hands onto your lower back. So just adjusting as you need to just get so that you feel stable up in your shoulder stand. Knowing that you can come out at any time. So making any adjustments here, keep looking up towards your knees. I'm looking towards the screen, but you should keep looking up towards your knees. So that might mean just adjusting your hands so that maybe you're feeding your back up through your hands a little and lowering your knees towards your face. Or maybe lowering your back through your hands so it's more your buttocks come into your hands, lifting your knees away from your face. Keeping your upper arms pressing down into the ground, keeping your shoulders pressing down into the ground to give you stability. Making sure that you've got some weight going down through your hands straight to your elbows, as well as the weight that's going up your back and into your shoulders. So balance is our aim here, balance and control of our shoulder stand. So know that you can stay here, or if you're ready to come out, please do. But if you would like to take this into the pose of tranquility, then take your hips back a little bit away from the wall behind you. Take the weight, that takes the weight off your hands, allowing you to take one hand followed by the other onto the ground. If you've then got some control over where your hips are in space with your hands on the ground, you're ready to take one hand around and place it on a shin. If one hand comes round and that feels super stable, you could bring the other hand round. If it doesn't though, take the first hand back and bring the other hand around. That swapping from hand to hand helps to develop the control to take the pose of tranquility. If you have both hands on your shins, then your focus is getting the balance. So that means having your legs straight, your arms straight, so your legs just rest naturally and easily on your hands. And seeing if you can just get a little bit more of your upper back onto the ground, but don't put so much on that you fall out of your pose of tranquility. Your aim is just to make sure you've not got too much weight up on your neck. So taking 2 or 3 breaths in the pose of tranquility, letting everything relax, especially your legs just resting on your straight arms. And if you're in the pose of tranquility, bring one hand, then the other back round onto your lower back. Just resettle your shoulder stand for another moment. And then take your hips back so you can take one hand, then the other down onto the mat. And with your hands on the mat acting as your brakes, slowly lower your back down onto the ground, starting at the top, lowering down. Once your hips have landed, you can then stretch your legs out. It's a bit of a double leg raise type action. And once your legs have landed, turn your palms to face up. Allow yourself a few breaths. And whilst you take those breaths, your body will adjust back to everything being in one line. Your head, your heart, and your legs. Wonderful. Nice to see the control of those shoulder stands, and nice to see everybody taking this at the right pace for them. We will counter pose with Setu Bandha, the bridge pose. Bending your knees, bring your feet in towards you. Take your hands down, just reach down with your hands, palms turned down. You might find you can graze the middle of your heel with your middle finger, but you might not. The main thing is that your shins are near vertical. And if you can have a look, if you can see into your camera, Martin, I don't know if you can from where you are, but you can see that your shins are perfect because they're good and vertical to the ground. Make sure your feet are hip distance, then turn your toes very slightly in towards each other. Just a little bit. When you're ready, you can then start to tilt your tailbone up to the ceiling and then start to peel your lower back, then your middle back, and some of your upper back away from the ground. So your hips lift to the ceiling as your feet press into the mat. And then once your hips are lifted as high as they will easily go, start to press your upper arms down into the ground so that you can peel more of your upper back away from the mat. So you're aiming to have as little contact between your upper back and the mat as you can. Feeling a stretch down the front of your hips. If it's comfortable for you, once you've got some lift, you could take your hands underneath you and interlace your fingers. And if you do that, you might then want to just take a roll over, maybe onto your left shoulder, so you can take your right shoulder and tuck it underneath you by rolling your upper arms outwards and underneath, and then do that on the other side. And that just gives you a bit more height. Wherever your arms are, you can then press into your feet and your upper arms, seeing if you can lift a little higher. If your feet press down into the ground, you could also press them forward a little bit. They won't move against the mat, but as they push forward towards the bottom of your mat, you can then maybe lift your little bones that stick out the front of your hips towards the corner of the wall and ceiling above you. Then I think we've held this long enough. If your hands are interlaced, move them out to the side and slowly start to lower yourself back down to the ground. Hips land last. Once they have landed, you can bring your knees up onto your chest. Take your arms around your knees and have a rock side to side. Bring that rocking to a halt and lift your head to your knees. Draw your knees down towards your chest. Release, feet land down, head lands down. From there, bring yourself up to sitting. And once you're sitting, you don't have to sit with your legs crossed. Are you okay there, Martin? I can see you're having a bit of thing with your right leg today. Are you okay? Take it easy. I can see you are when you need to. So let's take a release of our necks. So turning your head to the right. Keep your chin level so you're neither looking up nor down, just straight ahead. Come back to the centre and then look over to the left. Then the centre, all the way right. This time just take it as far as it will comfortably go. Back to the centre and over to the left. And back to the centre. We're going to take the Sanskrit name has escaped me. We're going to take head to knee pose. Janushirshasana. That's what I was looking for. So for Janushirshasana, it's one of those poses where we're going to be sitting with our legs out. So do sit on a block if that allows you to sit with your legs out more comfortably. And also it's a forward fold. So if you find it helps to have a belt when you're doing a forward fold, then again you could take a belt. So once you're there with your legs stretching out, pick up your left foot and bring your left foot in nice and close. Now that puts a bend on this left knee. So if that's not comfortable for your left knee today, then you could either have less of a bend by moving your foot down towards your feet, or you could stretch that leg out to the side. You will still get a good stretch. So having with your leg wherever you want it to be. Then you might just want to just have a little shuffle. So just maybe press into your hands so you can take your hips back a little bit towards the wall behind you. And then pressing into your hands, you can lift your chest so you're sitting as upright as you can. Pointing your right toes up to the ceiling, letting your left knee, if it's comfortable to, press down towards the ground. Then when you next inhale, lift your arms up towards the ceiling. So you're stretching as tall as you can. When you next exhale, take this movement slowly. Start to hinge forward, keeping your arms lifted. Now with your arms lifted, you can press your hands towards the wall that's in front of you, and that will help to encourage your abdomen forward and the rest of your upper body forward. When you can reach forward no more, then let your hands come down to wherever they come to for you. So that might be near your knees, your shins or your ankle. It might be your toes even. If you wanted to and you have one, you could take a belt at this point so that you can use the belt to help to ease you forward. Wherever you are, we're going to then use the breath to very slowly and gently deepen the posture. So each time you inhale, just ease your whole upper body forward. And each time you exhale, relax your upper body down. Now, if you get any discomfort in your lower back, or if you're just feeling like you're sitting very upright and aren't making much forward movement, then do put a bend in your right knee. You'll still get a strong stretch, but that will just allow you to ease forward. And you're aiming to take this to a point where you're getting a strong stretch, but it shouldn't be tense, it shouldn't be painful. Inhaling as you ease forward, exhaling as you relax your upper body down. So this is head to knee pose. Maybe not this week for everyone today. If you feel like your head is heading towards your knee, it's better to think about sending your chest to your knee. That gets you into a much better alignment. So 2 more breaths. Inhale, ease forward. Exhale, relax down over your leg. Then don't move the muscle except your head to look up to your toes. Releasing your belt if you've got hold of one, stretch your hands forward. Have one final exhale where you press forward towards your toes, and then a big inhale as you lift yourself back up. Exhaling, lowering your hands. And then we're going to take a counter pose. So I'll just show you the counter pose, because when we're in it, it's a bit hard to see. We'll be taking a hand on the knee, the right hand on the knee, left hand behind you with your palm flat on the ground. Let me come at a bit of an angle. And then with your left foot, left lower leg pressing into the mat, you will lift your hips, pressing them forward and taking them up to the ceiling. So, oh, you've all gone. You've all gone. You've gone. That was just a demonstration. So right hand on right knee, left hand behind you, palm pressing into the ground, left lower leg pressing into the mat as well. And when you're ready, lifting your hips away from the mat, thrusting forward to the wall in front of you, and then taking your right arm around behind you. So you've got a straight line from your right hand down to your right foot. Make that line as long as you can, and then lift your hips up towards the ceiling and press them forward, pushing firmly down into your left hand against the ground and your left lower leg against the ground. So you should have this sense of stretching in every direction. When you next exhale, slowly lower your hips down. Your right arm can come back around to land back on your knee. And then stretch your left leg out, taking a shake of your legs. Getting ready to do the other side. So this time, bring your right foot in, bringing it in as close as you comfortably can, pressing the sole of your foot against your left thigh. Now, your knees won't necessarily be the same on each side, so this knee might be uncomfortable when the other wasn't. So feel free to reduce to increase the angle of the knee, or to stretch that leg out to the side. Pressing your hands into the ground behind you, maybe just seeing if you can maybe lift your hips and take them back a centimetre or two, and then pressing into your hands so that your chest is lifting. You're coming up straight, left toes point up to the ceiling, right knee pressing down towards the ground. Then when you're ready, on a big inhale, lift your arms to the ceiling, stretch tall and then taller. Turn slightly to face your left foot. Then when you're ready, on an exhale, hinge forward. Don't be in a rush to come all the way down. Reach your hands forward. Let your hands take your body forward. Then when you can reach forward no more, let your hands come down, maybe taking a hold somewhere along your leg, or you could, if you want, take hold of a belt. And then you can start to use your breath. If you have a hold of the belt, maybe see if you can hold close to your foot so your arms are straight. And then using your breath, inhale, ease your body forward. Exhale, relax every muscle in your upper body down towards your leg. Relaxing your face as you do that. If this is painful and really tense, ease back a little. When we tense our muscles, they won't stretch. So you're better to ease back and work your way in more slowly. Inhale as you ease forward. Exhaling, relaxing down. 2 more breaths here. Then look up towards your toes, stretch your hands forward. Have a final press forward, and then a big inhale, lift your arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale to lower your hands. Place your left hand on your left knee, take your right hand behind you, palm firmly into the mat, right leg, lower right leg pressing into the ground. Then when you're ready on a big inhale, lift your hips away from the mat, your weight goes into your right leg and your right hand. Wind your arm around so your arms overhead. If you wanted, you could look up towards that hand, if that's comfortable for your neck. Pressing your left foot down firmly as your left fingers press further back. Pressing your right hand and right leg into the ground as your hips lift and press forward towards the wall in front of you. So getting that sense of everything in your body is stretching. When you next exhale, slowly lower your hips down, bringing your arm around so that you can land it onto your left knee, stretching your right leg out and taking a good shake of your legs. Bringing yourself from there to lie on your mat, on your front. So if you're able to, Marcus and Angelique, if you were able just to lower your cameras a little bit so that I can see you, that would be great. So you're lying on your mat, bringing your hands underneath your forehead, resting your forehead onto your hands. Perfect, thank you. And then once you're there, with your forehead resting on your hands, maybe take a rock of your hips side to side. So just a little bit of a breather, a little bit of release at your hips. And then bring that motion to a halt. So we're going to start today working our lower back, and we are going to build up to Dhanurasana boat pose. So if you take a bend of your right knee, so that your sole of your right foot is pointing up towards the ceiling. Keep your upper body relaxed, forehead resting down, and then press your right hip crease down into the ground. And as you press your right hip crease down, you might find you can start to lift your right knee away from the ground. So your right hip crease presses down, your right knee lifts. Just taking that as high as is comfortable for you. And you can think of it as lifting your knee or raising your foot to the ceiling. Then release that, let your right knee come down and stretch your right leg out. Then bend your left knee. Foot points up to the ceiling. Pressing your left hip crease down in towards the ground. And as you do that, you can press your left knee, maybe press it a little bit to the wall behind, and then see if you can lift it away from the mat up towards your ceiling. Keep your upper body relaxed. Keep that left hip crease pressing firmly down as your knee lifts. And then lower your left knee, stretch your left leg out. So we're going to do this with both legs. And what you'll find, just as with leg raises when we're on our back, the dynamic is slightly different, and it's not quite so easy to get that lift of your knees when you try it with both legs. So forehead resting on your hands, bending both knees, both your feet point up towards the ceiling, and then pressing both hip creases down and sending your knees, the signal to your knees to lift away from the mat. Seeing how much lift you can get. Probably not as much as with a single leg. If you're not lifting at all, that's fine. Just send the message. Your knees will get the message eventually. Keep your upper body relaxed. A final lift of your knees away from the ceiling, towards the ceiling, and then lowering them down, stretching your legs out. So that's a bit of preparatory work. We will come back to the legs in a moment. We'll take a bit of Cobra, Bhujangasana, to warm up the upper back. So hands under shoulders, fingertips line up with the top of your shoulders, elbows in close, and your elbows will be raised from the ground. Forehead then onto the mat, or chin if forehead's not comfortable. With your forehead or chin resting on the mat, take your shoulders up to the ceiling and down to your feet. So you're switching them on. Then when you next inhale, lift your face. So look forward along your floor. As you next inhale, slowly start to lift your chest away from the mat. Again, don't build up too much tension here. Keep your breath steady. Your hands are just relaxing on the mat. So this lift is coming from your lower back. Elbows in close, shoulder blades down your back, chest forward. Next exhale, lowering slowly down. We'll take 2 more cobras. So shoulders up and down towards your feet. Then when you inhale, lift your face, look forward. Next inhale, lift your chest away from the mat. You might find it'll come a little higher this time. Shoulder blades down your back. Your chest eases forward as your elbows head back. So your hands are pulling against the mat but not moving against it. Take 1 more breath. Lift a little if you can. And exhaling, lower yourself back down. Forehead rests on the mat. Let everything relax for a breath. And final cobra. Shoulders up and down. If you see what I mean. Yep, everybody saw what I meant. Next inhale, lift your face, look forward. Next inhale, lift your chest away from the mat. Shoulder blades ease back. On this one, if you want to, you could then put a bit of pressure into your hands, but pay attention to your lower back as you lift higher. Don't come any higher than your lower back's happy to go. Hands drawing back, chest pressing forward. Next exhale, lowering yourself down. Forehead's on forehead, hands underneath your forehead, resting a forehead or cheek on your hands. So our next step towards Dhanurasana, bow pose, will be half bow. So if you come up onto your elbows, and then once you're up onto your elbows, focus on your right elbow. So bring your right elbow so it's directly under your right shoulder. And have your hand and palms open wide, so you've got a really firm base there. Then bend your left knee. Left knee, I've got a nod from Lynn, that's the right one. And then with your right arm holding you firmly, you can then reach around with your left hand and see if you can reach your ankle. Now you can help that by pressing your left hip crease down a little. If you can't reach your ankle, then you can have your hands stretching up to it and stretch your ankle in. You don't have to reach it. Or if you're able to, you could loop a belt around it. Although single-handed, that can be quite challenging. Then with your chest pointing down towards the front edge of your mat, you can press your left hip crease firmly down and start to see if you can lift that knee a little bit away from the ground. Pressing your ankle into your hand, and as you do that, that might allow your knee to lift a little higher. Keeping your gaze down towards that front edge of your mat, keeping your chest as aligned with the front edge of the mat as you can. Feeling that stretch, allowing your left shoulder to open, and when you next exhale, lower your knee, release your ankle, and then bring your left hand in front of you. Take a moment there. So rest your forehead on your hands. And come up. Get your left arm into that same place. So your left elbow's directly under your shoulder. Your hands spread wide to give you a firm foundation and base. Lining your chest up so your chest is in line with the front edge of your mat. Bending your right knee. So bringing your right heel in as close as you can and then reaching your arm around to see if you can get a hold of ankle if possible, but the top of your foot or your toes wherever you're able to reach. Once you're there, again, square your chest to the front of the mat as much as you can and then start to press down into your right hip crease as you lift your right knee away from the mat. Once you've got a little bit of a lift, or just have that signal heading there, you could maybe press your ankle into your hand. That might allow you to lift it a little higher, feeling the stretch in your shoulder, keeping your chest lifted, pointing forward towards the front edge of your mat. Keeping your breath steady. When you next exhale, lower your knee, release your ankle, bring your hands underneath your forehead and rest your forehead onto your hands. So from here we're going to take full bow. If full bow isn't what you need tonight, and it's a strong back bend, so if your back has done enough, then you could sit this one out, or you could take a cobra, another cobra with your hands underneath your shoulders, or you could take a single leg lift on each side again, or you could sit yourself back into child's pose and rest easy. If you're coming into full Dhanurasana, then come back up onto your elbows, bend your knees, bringing your feet in towards you, pressing your hip creases down, and then take one hand around, followed by the other, catching a hold of your feet or your ankles. Then once you've got a hold, see if you can start to lift your chest and your shoulders. See if you can press your hip creases down and get that signal going to your knees to see if they can lift. And once you've taken that as far as is easy and comfortable, you could start to press your ankles into your hands a little. That might give you more knee lift, it might give you more chest lift. Keeping your breath as steady as you can whilst all your weight's on your abdomen. Taking one more good breath, lifting as you take it. When you next exhale, lowering down, releasing your ankles, hands underneath your forehead or cheek onto your hands, and letting yourself rest and go completely. So allow yourself another couple of breaths there. You'll probably feel your breath is still elevated from that work. Bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, pressing into your hands to come to hands and knees. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. We'll take a little bit of cat-cow to ease the back out. So when you're ready on an inhale, tilt your tailbone to the ceiling and look up towards the ceiling with your head, letting the back of your waist dip down towards the ground. Exhaling, tailbone tucks under as your head tucks firmly under, arching your back up towards the ceiling. So this is cat. And then take that away with your breath. Inhale to cow, head and tailbone lifts. Exhale to cat. Head and tailbone tucks under. And as you make that move, really focus on the middle of your back that arches up, and that spot in your undercarriage that comes as close to the mat as it can when you take cow. So it's those points you're wanting to lift high to the ceiling on cat and take down towards the mat on cow. Next time you find yourself in cat, hold it there just for a moment. Pressing into your hands, pressing into your knees, head's tucked under, tailbone tucked under, and then sit yourself back towards your heels. Bring your hips as close to your heels as you can, and lower your upper body down, bringing your forehead towards the mat. Maybe making a pillow with a fist or two fists stacked on each other, just to rest your head so that you can keep your hips close to your heels whilst your head is resting on something. Feel free to take your knees wider if you find that more comfortable. Also to have your hands in front or down by your feet. Or maybe on your lower back, one hand on top of the other. Resting completely. Every exhale, you should feel your upper body rest down either against your legs or come closer to the mat. Hands come under your shoulders. Press into your hands to lift yourself upright and come to sitting. Maybe taking a block so that you can sit more comfortably, or a cushion if you don't have a block. Coming to cross-legged if that's comfortable for you. If cross-legged isn't your most comfortable, then you could stretch your legs out. As long as you've got a knee to take a hold of as we come into a twist. So with your hands on your knees, pull gently on your knees, and as you pull gently on your knees, your chest can come forward, your shoulders can ease back. So you're coming into a good upright position. Taking your right hand behind you with your fingertips pressing into the ground to lift and straighten your spine. Left hand on right knee. When you're ready, on an exhale, starting to turn your chest to the right. When your chest has gone as far as it would easily go, take your gaze over your right shoulder with your chin level. And then just see if your right shoulder can move into the space immediately behind it to bring you further into the twist. Using your next few breaths, as you inhale, press into your back hand to straighten. As you exhale, see if you can ease yourself round a little more. Using your left hand on your right knee, using your upper body strength, using your right shoulder to ease round. One more breath. When you next exhale, relax your whole upper body and come back to face the front. Hands on knees. Draw yourself straight, bringing yourself forward. Left hand behind you, fingertips press into the ground. Right hand on left knee. When you exhale, start taking your chest around to the left. When you've gone as far as you can, take your gaze over your left shoulder, seeing if your left shoulder can then bring your chest further round. And then use your breath. Inhale, straighten up. Exhale, ease round. Have one more breath. Final ease round. On your next exhale, release, relax, bring your body to face the front. Stretching your legs out and taking a shake. From there, we'll take a final forward fold, which will give it a final leg stretch, and then we will come to final relaxation. Come into standing. So we'll make this a standing forward fold. Benefits of a standing forward fold compared to a sitting forward fold is we get gravity's help. So bringing your hands above your head and stretching your arms to your ceiling. When you next exhale, start to hinge forward at your hips. And once you've started to come towards the ground, you can start pressing your hands forward. And you'll notice when you get close to 90 degrees, this is the same posture as we sat in when we were doing our seated forward fold. So stretch your hands forward a little more and then let your hands relax down towards the ground. Let your neck muscles relax and allow your whole body to relax towards the mat. Taking a hold of the opposite elbow with the opposite hand. And allow yourself a little knee bend here. Because the aim of this stretch isn't to get a massive stretch of our legs, it's really to transition into final relaxation. So let your neck muscles relax, let your head hang heavy. Allow your next two breaths to take you deeper into your forward fold. And deepen your knee bend, release your hands to the ground, tuck your tailbone under, and slowly bring yourself back up to sitting, up to standing. Head lift will be the last thing to lift. When it does, roll your shoulders back, and then come to lying down on your mat. Do take something for the back of your head, a cushion or a block, if that will allow you to be more comfortable. Putting on any clothes that will keep you snug. And then coming to a good Shavasana posture. Feet to the corners of the mat, hands away from your body, your palms turned up. Any discomfort in your lower back, then you will definitely want to bend your knees. But even if there's no discomfort in your lower back, if it's more comfortable to bend your knees, then do. Checking in with the back of your body, making sure it's laid against the ground as you want it to be. And then know that there's nothing you need to do for the next minute or so except rest, relax, release, and let go. Keeping your attention within your body just for a moment or two longer. Then bring some movement back, wriggling fingers, wriggling toes. Bring your legs together, take your arms up overhead and have a stretch. If your arms are against something, that's fine. Press again. You can press against whatever's above your head. Toes press forward, hands stretch back. And then bend your knees. Bring one knee, then the other onto your chest. Hug your arms around your knees or around the back of your legs. Take a rock side to side. Bring that rocking to a halt. Draw your knees to your chest. Lift your head towards your knees. Release. Feet land down, head lands down. And then maybe coming to the right hand side for a breath or two. Slowly bring yourself back to sitting. Great to see you all, everyone who's here live and anybody who does the video as well. Thank you very much and namaste.